do want to say this though. I want to say this. This is. I know a lot of Christians don't like to. The idea when they think protest and going out and stuff like this in their brain, you see one idea of it, holding a sign saying, "Hey, hey, hey, hey." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is the perfect opportunity to go out and serve behind the scenes. You can go out, take water, and have conversations. You can go out, stand around, like, cause what you don't see that's happening behind the cameras, when you see the cameras, there are hundreds of people that's just standing around talking to each other.
Right.
You know, there's people walking up, talk. This is the perfect opportunity to just be in the crowd, have conversations, talk to people, encourage them. You know what I'm saying? Talk them into being peaceful. And just serve behind the scenes and be a presence.
Here's a question. Okay, so they released the DVD about the liquor store.
Yeah.
I guess people went crazy. How did that, like the people that were on site, how did that get communicated to them about the liquor
they
store?
got riled right back up because everybody knew that when the police released that information, even if it wasn't strategic, it looked strategic. You saved the tape until the day you released the name.
Right.
It made it look like you did this to take the attention off who done it.
Right.
So people read it that way, even if that wasn't their intent. Right. Even the FBI told the Ferguson Police Department, do not release the video because all it's gonna do is rile people back up. And
they said Jay Nixon was upset that they released that.
It riled people back up. They went right back to looting or trying to loot. The beautiful thing was,
did they go into that liquor store? They
didn't go into it, and the only reason that they didn't go into it because there were peaceful protesters out there, and when people started trying to loot this time, protesters from the crowd blocked the doors and wouldn't let them go in the stores. So that's the beauty. Everybody out there not wilding out, but everybody out there ain't peaceful neither. Right. So that's why I say it's a perfect opportunity for the church to get involved and be out there and be a presence, to be able to give some kind of direction behind the scenes.
And it's sad to see, like, this one of the most frustrating things about social media, man. Like, our Caucasian brothers and sisters, and even African, like, you start to see people who are supposed to be in love with Jesus bickering over the situation
in an ignorant
way. It's like, dad, like, you not involved, like, you're helping to rile on what's happening. Right. You know, because everybody going through timelines and they running into people they don't even know, and they reading stuff that they don't even know what they reading. And that's provoking stuff in people, you know what I mean? Right. So even as believers, we want to be wise with what we say. So I've said little things, but I've been very careful with trying to seem like I'm egging on or pumping my fist about something, you know what I mean? Right. We want to be careful with that, man.
I've been real careful to make sure I'm not being biased.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? No matter how my feelings are. I had to correct a Christian the other day, you know, because they were African American Christian. Because their speech was negative and evil. You know, it was like, oh, these white people, I'm like, no. Especially with the believer, we live our life based off relations. There is neither Greek nor Jew, male nor female, bond nor free, for we are all one in Christ Jesus.
Right.
Like, we don't supposed to see color and race.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, even though the reality of that is you still are human, people have feelings, people are upset, people tired of seeing this happen. You know, it happens way more often than it should happen. And I think the thing that people are really upset about is every time it happens, the police officer always gets off.
Right.
Like, that's what people have started looting already. I've been out there and people are already saying, like, he's not going to go to jail. No matter what happened, he's not going to jail because this is a black boy that people consider to be a threat to society. If he'd have walked up on him and dude would have never been in the store tripping, and the reality is the police chief said that when they had their encounter that officer didn't even know initially that he was the person involved in the store thing.
Right.
So if the liquor store would have never happened and he would have just rolled up on him and shot him in the head out the window, like, I believe the African American community still would have felt like he's not going to go to jail. I said justice is justice. So we demanding justice for the person that murdered Mike Brown.
Right.
I said, but there's a lady in St. Louis that just got, killed a grandmother got shot and died guarding her grandchildren.
Right.
So I told people like where were we at when that happened?
Yeah,
You
that's
know what I'm
actually-
saying? Like when that happened, why we weren't marching?
That was my niece godmother, actually.
Yeah.
That was Kayla and them godmother.
So when people when we in our own hood killing each other, I told people, I said, if you gonna demand justice, you got to be fair across the board. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to leave from this saying when the police come from now on and ask me who did what, you know, it ain't no I ain't gonna snitch if you demanding justice. Because I told people the reality is, man, like as crazy as it may sound, and we see this being factual. Like if that would have been a black person killed Mike Brown in the middle of that street that day, it could have been 100 people out there sewing when nobody would have said nothing.
Nobody said nothing. Wouldn't be no marches.
They wouldn't have said nothing. There wouldn't have been no march, no protest. It still would have been a mother out there crying, a son dead, a father mourning, a street with blood in it. It would have still been teddy bears and the visual and all that, but it wouldn't have been no march, no protest, and it wouldn't have been nobody step forward and say this who did. Everybody would have fell back. So we got to start being fair across the board.
And
I got some I'm setting up right now. I don't know what Ross gonna do with this. He might put a little cartoon on. You know, he's a funny guy. He ain't gonna tell him what he gonna do. But I got some I'm trying to set up right now with a G-Chat panel. I'm trying to think of a group of people to throw on a panel to answer questions and live stream. So we'll have something popping off soon.
All right.
Where we can answer these same questions on the live one.
Well, thank you, brothers. This is Perceived Across the Blog. Kobe Sutz, and I'm out. Triple.